Okay, welcome back to another episode of Third and 23. I'm your host, Alex, continuing on with this week's college football games, and we're going to go with another Big Ten battle. Probably a snoozer for a lot of you, but if you're into gambling and you see an opportunity like I see it, I got to take it. So we're going to talk Wisconsin at Northwestern. Wisconsin, 7-point favorite coming into this game. Now, you talk about Wisconsin, you look at Wisconsin, their last three games, they lose to USC 38-21. In the process of the USC game, actually the game before that against Alabama, they lose their starting quarterback Tyler Van Dyke. They bring in Braden Locke. Braden Locke comes in against Alabama, plays the rest of that game, starts the game against USC, didn't look so hot. But now, he's got time as the number one quarterback. He's getting all the number one reps. He's got a little time in there. Braden Locke came in last year because of injury as well, and he showed some moxie. He showed he has some game. For some reason, Wisconsin didn't want him to be the starter. So here we go. He gets the first team reps. A switch may have gotten flipped. Purdue, they beat them 52-6. He had 350 yards passing and 3 touchdowns in that game. You say, okay, Purdue stinks. I'm with you. But then they play against Rutgers. Rutgers is not a bad team. 42-7. He had 240 and another tub or two in that game. At the same time that's happening, you know how I love balance, right? So you need a running back. Wisconsin, man, who was their running back? Tawi Walker finally started to get a few more carries against Purdue. Ran for about 95 yards rushing. Obviously, he didn't play much in the second half. Then against Rutgers, they give him the ball a little bit more. Goes for over 190 yards rushing. So now you're starting to see something with Wisconsin. They're starting to get in their groove in the backfield, at quarterback and at running back. So when you're looking at this game, you say, okay, Wisconsin's going to have a balanced attack. But for me, when I'm deciding this game, for me, it's all about Northwestern. It's not about the Wisconsin balanced attack or the Wisconsin defense. It's about Northwestern and how poor of a team I believe they are. You look at these numbers. Their pass defense is ranked 113th in the country. Braden Locke is going to have a good game this Saturday. Their pass offense, 113th in the country as well. This Jack Lausch, their quarterback, I mean, he's the same guy who had 50 yards passing. In that Washington, they lost 24-5 to Washington. He had 50 yards passing and 2 picks in that game. Horrible. Against Indiana, he was a little better, threw for like 230, but they got blown away in that game. You look at the Maryland game, and you say, wow, they won 37-10. But the reality is Maryland isn't very good, and Maryland gave them 20 points off of turnovers and getting stopped on fourth down. And then one last thing, you got Jack Lausch throwing the ball to, not much out there. You got Kurtz out there, receiver, but they don't really have much at receiver. They don't really have a running game. 104th in the country running the ball. You thought it was going to be Cam Porter. He's not really getting most of the carries. They can't really decide on a running back. So when I'm looking at Northwestern, they don't have a QB. They can't throw it. They can't run it. I don't see how they're going to score more than 10 points in this game against a Wisconsin defense that's given up 7 and 6 in the last 2 games, and an offense that looks like they're hitting their stride. For me, I'm looking at this 7 points, Wisconsin, a 7-point favorite on the road. But to me, this screams should have been a 17-point favorite. So for me, this is a weird spread. I think it's almost too easy the way I'm looking at it, because it seems like there's no way Wisconsin shouldn't be able to dominate Northwestern. And if you look at history, the times that Wisconsin has beat Northwestern throughout history, especially over the last 10 years, Wisconsin typically dominates Northwestern. It's not a close game usually. So I'm going to go ahead and go Wisconsin in this one. I'm going to lay this 7. This looks like free money to me. And so let's see if we can keep it going this Saturday. I'm still gonna have a few more games throughout the week. So I'm gonna have some other games that probably pique your interest a little more than Wisconsin and Northwestern. But hey, you still win the same amount of money. Doesn't matter who you bet on, right? So if you like the content, please like, follow, subscribe, all of that. As you can see, my YouTube handle hit in a few seconds. Take care.